this is some of the most original concept and design I've seen in a smaller hauler in like years. Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here with the MAV 17 or 17 MAV, which obviously stands for Murder Hobo Action Vehicle, or apparently Momentum Action Vehicle or something. Anyway, this is, as far as I know, the smallest toy hauler that Grand Designs. Yeah, okay, we're gonna run with that. And maybe they're most creative, because when you have the smallest amount of space, it's harder to fit everything in there. And what they basically did is they found a way to triple overlap the living area, the loading area, quadruple overlap, living area, loading area, dining area, and sleeping space in this with basically a Murphy dinette, Murphy bed, garage living combo that I've not exactly seen before. It reminds me a little bit, if you remember the Ibex Suite series, those little weird park models, those fun retro things they made, that, that with the drop-down dining Murphy bed, it kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but through a toy hauler lens with a free-floating picnic table that you can float around your campsite. You don't have to use it in the RV, and I think that's kind of brilliant. I'm pretty sure that whole mechanism and everything is made by Moride, because it is heavy frickin' duty. I tried to reef on it, and I'm not exactly a big muscle bound dude, but I was very happy with it. Now, this is small. You can fit, because you have almost 80 inches between the sidewall and the countertop here. They've loaded Rangers. They've loaded some side-by-sides into this thing with a shockingly big front bathroom, because they had plenty of space to play with. It's a goofy little design, but if you're just looking for a smaller hauler and you don't have a 1-ton dually to tote something around, it's an interesting new opportunity here. Let me know what you think about this thing as we go. Now, I debated on how to go about representing and displaying this thing on camera, just because it has so many different modes. So I think what I want to do is, for the most part here, we're going to look at what I'm going to call daytime mode. We're going to look at nighttime sleeper for a moment, and then hang out to what I'm going to label as the road mode chapter of the video, and I'll get everything folded away. You already kind of saw previews of all this in the floor plan and a flash, so I thought I would kind of go with that. Let's kind of start from the top and work our way down. This is shorter, and I'm calling it a smaller hauler because of that, but it's still extra tall. It's a 15,000 BTU air, by the way, centralized. It's extra tall. It is wide body. This is a basically full-fledged toy hauler. Now, someone, I guarantee, is going to ask, can I get it with those power drop Happy Jack beds? No, this is as seen, basically, is how this thing comes. I think this comes from Moride. These benches are like a powder-coated, I think, aluminum. They are solid. Dude, this whole thing is really solid. Like, you can really sit a couple people there. And this table, which really looks like it matches, is just a free-floating, folding leg picnic table. And what's cool about that is you don't necessarily have to leave it here. If you want to, you can move it around, which is kind of cool. It really allows you to use this space however you want to. Now, it doesn't include extra chairs, to my knowledge, unless I've missed something. So if you want to use it out here like a picnic, you'll have to, bring a few additional chairs with you. One of the things that is really kind of handy here is it does have a retractable kind of bug screen wall. I don't believe they offer the full 3 seasons patio wall on this sucker, but you do have that easy drop thing. Now, you saw that metallic flange that I was using as a handle right there. By the way, also, I appreciate the fact that you can like drop it halfway down if you want to. I don't even know if I would do that, but I like that. The reason I like this metal flange is when this is all the way down, you just push down on this with your feet, and up she goes. It's just simple and easy. Now, one of the coolest things about this whole patio set, like I could see somebody purchasing this RV who doesn't have a 4-wheeler or kayaks or e-bikes or dog crates or something to load in this. This is just kind of a different, very cool couples sort of arrangement. Could be a solo camper, when you're up here on the patio, it's fun. It's just fun being up here. Ooh, I like where those taillights are located up high like that. That's a nice little tow safety feature. Now, I don't think this is the kind of camper you're going to sit inside and watch TV all day. It doesn't have a big old comfy plush wraparound sofa, but your TV hookups are located there above that campsite window, which is pretty decent size. I noticed too, they got power outlets kind of all over the place. So whatever you're throwing in this thing, you've got plenty of copper in the walls, which is nice. This is not a laminated wall RV, and that allows them to run wiring like anywhere you want, which is kind of cool. This is the thing I think, though, that is very interesting. When I got in this, I was looking around like, wait a minute, where's the bed? And then I discovered the obvious answer here. This has a true queen drop-down Murphy bed. And it's not a folding bendy bed mattress. It's just a queen bed. So with that little buckle strap right there, in theory, you don't really have to make the bed every morning, every night. It's a little simpler that way. You're going to want to make sure you tuck the pillow somewhere. Now, what I'm not sure about is how thick of a replacement mattress you can put on there. The factory doesn't have any sort of specifications for something like that. So that's going to be one of those, like, once you get it, you have to kind of figure it out afterwards kind of things. I don't like anything that I just said, but I'm just trying to make you aware. I was just kind of curious. Climb down the bed here. The view from the bed's kind of cool. I like that big window there. If you put a TV here, actually your bed kind of becomes a lounger. That's kind of cool. I am starting to like this a little bit more. My wife and I lounge on our bed at home watching TV all the time. Like, I could make that work. Checking out all of our storage here. I was kind of curious, with no traditional bed area, what kind of personal clothing storage would I have? Little hanging closet up top here. These are what I call the puppy saver nets. I'll talk more about those in just a minute. And then quadruple dresser drawers here, actually kind of down to the floor. But when the bed's in position, that's going to act a little bit like a sort of bedside pocket. It would kind of be cool if that had access open from inside, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay. Anyway, by the way, you might notice the picnic table just kind of stores and slots in place here when you're not using it. The rest of this, this kitchen's not big, but it is packed. Every square inch of it's used. That is a conventional microwave, by the way. It wasn't sitting up. It's not some kind of air fryer convection combo, just a normal everyday microwave. This shares some blood with Transcend and picks up a couple of their features, like the pull-out trash can that you see down here. Get that out of the way a little bit so you can see what's going on. I'm eyeballing it. I think that's an 8 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge, not a 10. I could be mistaken. The taller ceilings might be skewing my perception of that, but the taller ceilings are also giving us a crap ton of overhead cabinet space right here. Also, the counter space is very limited, but there's reason for it. Instead of the traditional square black 3-burner stovetop, they are adapting to a lot of models where they can, especially a lot of your no slides, this sealed 3-burner horizontal rectangular kind of stovetop, which is cool. It's a lot easier to clean, by the way. And that allowed them to push the countertop back a little bit. And I think it's like 79 inches from the countertop to the wall. Now, there's a lot of different measurements that could come into play on this thing. So the best recommendation I have, if you're like, hey, can my side-by-side fit? First of all, that's an open question. There's too many side-by-sides with different measurements. Get us the measurements on your thing, side-by-side, golf cart, kayak, I don't care, whatever it is. Then call our team. We can measure stuff up and make sure that it's going to work for you. What is down there? Is that like that's not the water heater. Is that the furnace? There's something down there, obviously, because that's just an access panel. Porcelain foot flush stool here. And I'm at a weird angle. I'm sorry if this is kind of making you motion sick. I'm trying to be slow about it. But the space around the toilet's just obviously awesome. It's very, what I call, fluffy friendly. Notice they have kept all the heat vents out of the floor. It baffles me when I see a toy hauler put heat vents in the floor. I'm just like, what planet do you live on? And I actually really respect what they did here. They did not include a skylight. And if you notice, I still have plenty of headroom there because it's a toy hauler, because it's extra tall. I don't need a skylight for headroom. That's the reason skylights generally exist in the RV industry. This design doesn't need it. And I'm glad they didn't try to force it. That's a crap. I think there's more counter space in the bathroom than there is in the kitchen. You'd be doing your kitchen prep work back here. And again, lots of good drawer space. Nice spot for a small wastebasket under that big sink. Easy reach outlets. These are thermal foil counters in the kitchen or bathroom, rather, it looks like. And because of the curvature of the nose, it's weird, but that's actually a pretty good large medicine cabinet, you know. And up here, I don't know, probably put some towels or something up there. Maybe keep a couple hats. Let me open this up because this also is closet space, which is kind of cool. So you do have a couple different closet areas. You could use maybe one for clothes to get dressed. You could use the one in the back for jackets or something like that, or some combination thereof. Now, this sounds strange, but to really demonstrate fully the road mode, I thought I'd actually start by climbing up in the shower in the front of this thing and then working our way around. Now, it doesn't have any slides, but when you're talking a toy hauler and you've seen a bunch of stuff folded down before this and the patio tailgate was wide open, what, space do we actually have in here? And I'm going to say, dude, a lot more than I thought. And I say dude only because I don't know your names individually. But normally, having all the construction of that Murphy bed over there, I think would be a problem. But with this being a wide body, extra tall product, I'm actually kind of impressed overall with the space in here. And here's something else. I'm going to stand right, like when you first walk into the door. This is what you're looking at right here. Now, the door, the refrigerator door swings at me. So the refrigerator might be a little bit difficult to reach if you have something nosed up right in front of it. But depending on what you load, you may have fridge access to this thing at a travel stop. I don't know. And when I took a look at the weights and measures on this one, I wasn't necessarily surprised. This RV's greatest asset will also be its greatest liability, I suspect. Because when you see short length tandem axle, your brain starts going, oh, can my half ton handle this? Well, I don't know. Based on the numbers, I don't know that I love the pairing with a lot of half tons. Now, keep in mind, we could sell a heck of a lot more of these if I was like, yeah, if you got a half ton, don't even worry, hitch right up to this thing. Because the dry weight looks very manageable. So you're like, what's your problem, Jack? The GVW of this is only almost 10,000 pounds. This has like over 4,200 pounds of cargo carry capacity. They actually made an RV that can handle essentially any load you want to pile in this thing. Not everybody does that. But as a result, that means legally, you need a more capable vehicle. If you choose to ignore that, and you have an 8,000 pound tow rating and you want to tow this, I hope you never get pulled over by Johnny Law. If there's an insurance investigation, you're going to be screwed. Moving on from there, one of the things here is, so this is a part of the Momentum family. It's actually built, I believe, out of the Transcend stick and tin plant, which is why it kind of looks a little bit more like a Transcend, but it's wide body, 100-inch, like a Momentum toy hauler. I love the look of the front of this thing, too. It's just got a sweet appearance about it. 20-pound propane tanks, 2 of those. Sometimes people go, where are the batteries? Most factories don't actually include batteries. This is just a demo battery, but there's room on that tray for 2. You could always add a few more. The thing is, with this design, there's really not space for outside storage. And that would be the kind of thing I think some people could conveniently gloss over. But it's one of the first things I wondered about and discovered here. Now, I do think it's cool. We have this little enclosed docking center under that 60,000 BTU on-demand water heater. You see the motion lighting doing its thing. You also see 2 disconnects in there. One's a solar disconnect, one's a battery disconnect. That's the correct way of doing this. The holding tank capacities, for no bigger than this camper is, are very, very noteworthy. Technically speaking, this is really the only outside storage that we have here. They just had a little bit of space above the single sewer outlet right there to put anything. So that's what we got. It's not great, but it's what we got. I I backed up too fast. I'll give you a look at it on the other side, but this does have a MORryde CRE 3000 suspension shackle on it, by the way. It's a leaf spring system, but with a MORryde upfit for a little smoother ride and handling. I appreciate the built-on ladder. It is the tilt, the what do I say, elliptical variety, where it kind of swings in place, but that can get you up to that fully walkable roof. You can keep in, make sure your solar panels are cleared off or whatever the case might be. One other thing I haven't demonstrated here, I think they're just stowed away in one of the cabinets inside, is what I call the puppy savers. If you look at where the ramp comes up to meet the body of the camper, there's kind of a gap there, pretty significant one. Four-legged little furry friends, little toddlers might bop their way out of there. So there is kind of a safety net that you can put in place to catch them. And if you're not camping with littles or something like that, you don't got to worry about it. The underbelly of this is enclosed. It is forced air heated, reasonable, extended season, shoulder season package on this. But, if it's super cold, you're probably not going to have that ramp door open a lot. Like, this is not made for, like, crazy, super cold camping weather kind of situations here. The speakers technically could go up a little higher if they wanted to. I would prefer it if they were down a little lower, but hey, that's just me. Before I forget, just in case if you're not familiar with the different suspension things, when you see this, basically if you see anything other than black steel between the tires, that's good news. It's still a leaf spring package, but that will take a lot of shock and jolt out of the towing experience. Now, the underbelly, it's enclosed forced air heat. I told you that. But it also does have a underslung spare tire. And just in front of those steps, it actually does also have a gas grill quick connect in case you feel like doing a little cooking outdoors. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but you could fry an egg on my forehead right now in this beautiful sunshine that we're having. So I'm going to wrap this up and get a drink before I pass out from, dehydration, heat exhaustion, whatever. Take a look at the links in the video description. You can see where we have one of these parked, the asking price on a given day, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes with Grand Design, we can only publish MSRP. And now that I think about it, I don't like that policy, but we don't sell for MSRP. Sometimes we just can't publish anything else. So if you don't see an actual discounted price, just give our team a call. That's what we are required to ask you to do. It's annoying, whatever. Anyway, what do you think about her? Fun? Weird? Crazy? Crazy awesome? I don't know. Leave me a note. We'll talk in the comment section. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and remember, wear sunscreen, everyone.